Hey guys. Mm, sorry. That may have been semi off-putting. So, you know what? I think I figured out a way to stream video games on this thing. All I have to do is literally all I have to do is input this HDMI converter that I already have that puts it essentially allows you to plug your PlayStation 3, I think, into the TV. Or not into the TV, into the computer, actually. And so I don't think it's going to have the crazy slowdown that OBS does if I do it directly through YouTube. It will likely be, you know, essentially I might have to put two audio tracks on at the same time, and that may not be possible. However, if I'm using the PS4, it may still be stuck on PS4 in this regard because I don't know if I have consoles that would allow for voice through them. But the PS4 console, if I were using the PS4, it does have the headphone jack, so I could put this in, and then perhaps it would do what the PS4 does, but it would just do it natively through the computer somehow, of like combining the audio from the gameplay with the audio from my voice. And man, this is a great value. This thing, I think it's 15 or something dollars, a pretty decent audio quality. It doesn't look great. It looks sort of like goony, but I think a lot of fucking things look goony. I saw Tim Rogers reviewing it. I think it was an Xbox controller or something. No, I think it would have been the Final Fantasy pre-review of the Final Fantasy remake, the Final Fantasy remake. And he said that he was talking about going in and playing the demo of the game and or the preview of it, and he said that they had like really nice headphones, and he showed a picture of the headphones, and I looked at them and I was like, yeah, I mean, they might be nice, but those, like, if you told me like, oh yeah, those are kind of goony headphones, or they're just like, oh yeah, those cost $5 rather than, he put the price on the screen. I think it was like 200 or 300 bucks, maybe more. I think it was like 299, whatever it was. Like, if you had told me those headphones were the same price as these, I might be like, all right, well, based on how they look, maybe they would be. So the looks aren't really an issue with headphones, and I think these ones, like, the sound is pretty good, and the audio is pretty good, and I think I've even like kind of, the other headphones are breaking down. Maybe I had dropped them or something, or I don't know. Maybe like I had like spilled some kind of water or whatever on like, for example, like if I were like washing dishes or something, and then I had my phone and then I plugged in the headphones, or I don't know, maybe the water got on the fucking hand, the thing. Anyway, that you plug it in with, that you plug them in with. Okay, so yeah, I have faced much opposition in this life, and I have, and at least as far as probably like literally today, and going back recently, I have continued to face a lot of opposition. I faced so much opposition that actually, this may sound like crazy town, but at this point, I'm not sure because I've literally had people again yell out of car windows at me. So if you're gonna do that, like where I'm not next to my house, then it's like, all right, well, I guess anybody anywhere could be harassing me and somehow know who I am. So in that case, like I was like, I was in a long traffic jam yesterday, and it was so weird. It was this guy, he was literally on a motorcycle, and he was pulled up next to the woman behind me who was in a van, and it didn't even look like they really knew each other. Like, I don't know, the way they were talking to each other, like he was talking to her through the window, and it wasn't like, it didn't seem like they were together, like driving together or anything, because later on he fucking loudly zoomed off past me. Once he got past me, he loudly zoomed, and he was going fast. So it was as if, like, what is he gonna make her chase him or something, like, whatever. Anyway, or did she go ahead anyway? But then how would she be going? Whatever. Uh, they were behind my car, and they were like laughing, and kind of, it was like a fucking sitcom scene or something. I was looking back in the, like, the side mirror maybe, and or the rear view mirror, and I had my window rolled slightly down, and I kind of heard what they were saying. Like, I think he had said like, I think he said the word crazy, but I think he also said the word like Donald Trump, which would be probably associated with me, although an older version of me. You really don't have your fucking Matt lore straight if Donald Trump is any part of your fucking lore. Like, that's what, 4 years plus old at this point. Yeah, I haven't been like celebrating masters in a long time, I don't think. Not thug masters, but anyway, it sounded like this basically they were behind me and I was kind of looking back and it sounded like what they were talking about could have been like fitting with the kind of harassment that I would get anyway, given that I'm such a pariah around here. And and I was just sitting in the car like "Ugh," but here's the thing, like I wasn't sitting there, like I didn't hear every word of their conversation. So much of it was sitting there thinking like like, is this about me? Is this like people yelling out of their fucking car windows and shit at me? Is this like the angry fucking stares that I'll get from people just fucking randomly? And it's like, like, do you go around and get angry stares like at you from people? It's like, no, but I do. And it seems improbable that this many people would have a hyperlink for who I am. If I fucking go by, like you know who I am. It's like, oh well, maybe they recognize your car. Okay, if they recognize my car, that many people like I go miles around Rhode Island and like just people all over the place dotted along the way are there to fucking harass me or like give me cold stares and shit. Like and it's not everybody. It's not everybody, but it seems to be like a lot more people than probable. So am I in the Truman Show? I don't know, but those two people behind me were the weirdest one. Like that was actually like a surreal experience. And it's like, well, Matt, what if you're seeing things? It's like I was seeing a guy on a fucking motorcycle. If I'm having hallucinations that much, then I don't know how I don't crash the fucking car, right? I'm seeing fucking cars, and I doubt it. It seems real, but it's like why? But the thing is, the weird part was why would this guy not be driving with this woman yet he's like talking to her in the window and they're right behind me and they seem to be saying key words that could be related to them like calling me a crazy person or something. Oh, he was a big extremist for Donald Trump and which is not really true in the first place, but it's like, oh, he was a real like, oh yeah, he's a crazy person, like, oh, he loves Donald Trump. It's like and again, I'm not sure if that was the conversation, but it's like you tell me, isn't it bizarre that two people would be sort of having a conversation, a guy on a motorcycle next to a random fucking car, and they'd be waiting behind me. The guy on the motorcycle, he could have gone past me. Clearly, it was a one lane road, but he was like basically double laned with this woman, as motorcycle people sometimes do. Okay, so he was with her. He didn't go forward ahead of her and he wasn't behind her. He was with her and he waited until I basically turned into where I was going and then zoomed off fucking ahead of me. Now he was the one guy in the lane. It's like, all right, like, so were you, I don't know. Did you fucking like, did you see me? There's such a thing as like, James True talks about targeted individuals or like there's gang blank, blank, but there aren't any blanks, stalking, it's like, there are ideas like that. I don't know if that's what I've had, but it was the same day actually where in any case, whatever. There are many things in my life where it's like, am I in the Truman Show? It doesn't seem likely. And I'm talking about the realm of probabilities here. I'm actually talking about what would seem to be more likely and more sane. It doesn't seem likely or sane to think that all these people would like know a lot about me. But if people are like actually yelling at me as I drive by or they're giving me cold stares. It's like, does it seem sane that a random person whom I don't think I've ever seen before would be like staring at me with anger? Like it just seems like a weirdly improbable amount of people. Like a lot of people are fucking it's like what, Matt? Maybe they're not staring at you. It's like, well, were they fucking yelling cuckoo out of a car window while I was walking across an intersection? Were they doing that? Was I screamed at like within the span of like maybe 2 or 3 weeks out of another car, like going down the same road, like to and back from a library? Did somebody scream at me like twice? And I think it might have been the same car because I'm in both cases. I think it was silver. Like do my vibes attract that ire? Because I don't think it's the vibes. I think a lot of people seem to like have some idea of who I am, and it's like, all right, well, again, and maybe they recognize my car and they're like, oh, this guy's a sloppy driver or something. He has been an aggressive driver or something. It's like, I don't know. I hope not to be too aggressive of a driver. Maybe sometimes I have been, but it's like I haven't crashed the fucking car, right? And we're not getting into a fucking dialogue about my driving skills here. Although I will say, one time my friend, I was driving with a friend that I had once, and basically I like turned left or I turned right or something down like one of these labyrinthian like series of one ways that Belmar has in New Jersey, and it's a like a shore town. It is the Jersey Shore. I think Snooki and her buddies actually partied there or like very close to there at least once. But hold on. In fact, I think there's a big club over there called DJ's. I think maybe she had gone to DJ's one time, and it is in Belmar. So, but like I was turning, and looked at me, or he asked me like, "Are you?" He's like, "Do you drive very often?" It's like I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good driver. I don't. Maybe everybody thinks they're a good driver. But I think I don't know. I think I'm fairly good and fairly conscientious. I don't know. Maybe not quite as conscientious as everybody else, but what I would like to say though is that it just seems improbable um, that this kind of Truman Show scenario would be happening to me. But then again, it seems improbable that all these fucking people would be like would know who I am. So again, I ask, or if I didn't already ask it this stream, I ask if anybody recognizes me from some kind of Truman Show thing that might be going on. Like, please let me know. Yeah, please, because it seems too bizarre. Okay, what do we got next? Oh yeah, so being an honest person, and then basically line break. Actually, there should be two line breaks. Can I edit the name of? I'm gonna edit the name of the stream if I can. Should be two line breaks. Yeah, see, here's an act of freedom. It may not seem like much, but I gotta tell you, man, or I don't have to. I'll tell you, or that'd be bearing false witness. In any case, I have been very I don't know. What was I even gonna fucking say? In a oh yeah, no, I would have like I've been very sort of particular about things. I've been very like essentially like it's like I've been trying to follow a very strict spiritual path, and a thing that I pointed to multiple times. It was either Nisargadatta or Yogananda or both. Or maybe Papaji. I think it might have been Nisargadatta. He was said to have like basically he was like walking somewhere and then he just like sort of turned and they started off in that direction. And somebody's like, "Well, where are you going?" He's like, "Well, essentially the idea was like he didn't know where he was going, but when he got there, like essentially that would have been the place to go." It's like that's like Gandalf. That's like fucking that's how I and Gandalf, by the way, is an INTJ. Perhaps Nisargadatta would have been an Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Perhaps he would have been an I am that, which is from the little I've read of it. Fantastic book. Oh, I've got it right here. Let's show it to you. But yeah, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. It's like maybe he was an INTJ too. I don't know, but this book is amazing. This and I was thinking about it today, by the way, because Alan Watt, not Watts, but Watt, he has a book called Cutting Through, and then he also has a book called Waiting for the Miracle, which is a series of transcriptions of interviews that he had with Jackie Petru on what Sweet Liberty Radio or something. This was years ago, but I have that book as well, and I ordered it legitimately, and it's like it's worth the money. But each of his books, I think they're like $70 if you get the whole thing for Cutting Through. Highly worth it for that. It's worth $700. Absolutely, Cutting Through. If you're looking to look into like truther stuff, it's called Cutting Through, and like basically, if you want somebody to just sort of confidently point at like a lot of stuff and say, well, here's this, here's that, here's that. All right. So A plus B equals what, guys? Like if you want somebody to do that for like an entire book, and I'm on volume 3 of it right now out of 3, just amazing. But in any case, I was thinking, Waiting for the Miracle, it's actually kind of perfect because it's similar to The Power of Now, or it's similar enough to The Power of Now, kind of. Or it's similar enough to I Am That, where it's sort of like a series of kind of questions and answers, kind of in I Am That, it's actually dialogue, so it's more similar to I Am That. But that's also similar to this. What? Where do I have it here? Yeah, Silence of the Heart by Robert Adams. That's also similar to this. It's both of them were in my master's books collection and are, I suppose. But I think I do have that actually mentioned in RPG Life, so it is still part of it. It's been codified. It's been codified, but codified cod piece. That's interesting. It's like it's been put into Dick. It's been put into the phallus of Osiris status. Whatever. But yeah, this is another book of dialogues, essentially, or kind of talks, I guess. But in any case, it's amazing to see. Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of questions here, but it's a or and no, I guess there might be. Yeah, look, yeah, there's at least one part where there's question and answering. But I was like, wow, yeah, you know what? Alan Watt, he's so amazing. Like when you listen to his radio show, he basically is giving kind of truth songs. So it's a really valuable book, not just because it's stuff that he said, but in terms of like, well, it may seem like sort of like, oh, these are just transcriptions of radio interviews, but it's like there's a real lineage of books where they have been transcriptions of dialogues with like essentially a master, someone who like, has clear understanding, a really deep understanding, and then someone asking them questions, or like Eckhart Tolle with the Power of Now, etc., which is sort of like that. Some of the questions apparently are fashioned from multiple questions. It's some of it's transcription, some of it's not, whatever. But or I don't know. Anyway, I Am That is a really good book. And Waiting for the Miracle, great title, by the way, in the lineage of I Am That as well. Really good title, because the title kind of, just like As It Is, by the way, by Tony Parsons, the title sort of gives you a whole shock of it. Or like some of the John Kabat-Zinn titles, like Full Catastrophe Living, or Wherever You Go, There You Are. Those titles just, or like Coming to Our Senses, those titles just give you a fucking, if you let them, those titles are like koans in and of themselves. You don't have to buy the book. If you hear the title, then you get it. And so Waiting for the Miracle, the title, essentially, it's like, yeah, people are waiting for somebody else to come in. People are waiting for the miracle to happen. People are waiting for somebody to come and save them, whether it be a religious thing or whether it be sort of a government thing, but they are always in a state of waiting for someone else to do something. And so perhaps they become the dead.